Hello, 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 hello out there. How's everybody doing? This is everybody's favorite black conservative out of New York, Christopher Wright. Just here to do one of my infamous walk and talks. And today's walk and talk, what's it going to be about? So, to be quick, today's walk and talk is going to be about racial divide on the left and how it's becoming a problem in the country. Man, where do I start? As you all know, we're having serious racial issues going on in the country right now. And in my opinion, it's based mainly on the left side of things, okay? And it started under the Obama presidency, despite what a lot of people are saying. They got a lot of naysayers saying pretty much, oh no, Trump is causing all this division, and you know, it all started when he was president and it wasn't like this before. And you know, you hear people talk when it comes to the whole Trump and issue and the racial divide in the country. They talk like Trump invented racism. It's a joke. It's like, you know, you guys forget that this country has a vast history when it comes to, you know, especially in the, you know, decades, century ago when it came to race issues in the country. It was terrible here, and we've been through a process, and we got through it as a country. You know, we the people, all that good stuff. And you know, now it's pretty much things are popping up that were gone for decades. Since, you know, in the 50s we haven't seen them, but now they're starting to show up again. And people are trying to cast the blame on Trump and say, oh, this wasn't like this until Trump became president. Yeah, right. You know, it started off with Obama, in my opinion. And all we got to talk about and take a look at is groups like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, MoveOn.org, all of them. You know, they were all radical leftist groups that were, you know, they started off under the Obama presidency. They didn't just show up under Trump. They didn't pop up when Trump showed up and all of a sudden we had this divide. They've been there, causing havoc, causing chaos, acting the fool. You know, it's nothing brand new here. So to blame Trump and say, oh, he's the reason for all this racial divide, it's BS. And we all know it is. And it's been around for decades before Trump. It's been around. So, and another thing we can look at when it comes to the whole issue is what I call a thing that's a problem with the left. And me and my good friend Doug Kelly out in, you know, down in Maryland, we grew up together, a very good friend of mine, you know, DJK and Sons, HVAC, for anybody in Maryland looking for HVAC work. Just hate to do that, but it's a cheap plug, but no, it's just all love. It's a good friend of mine. But, you know, he brought up a definition for something that I totally agree with him on, and it's something the left is infamous for, in my opinion, and that's what it's called: low expectation racism. Left is fully guilty of this, and a perfect example is if you look, we can look at the voter identification cards that President Trump is trying to pass as law, and we have to use identification cards when we go to vote. You know, very simple process. A lot of other countries in the world are doing this. In Europe, you know, even Mexico has voter ID laws. It's just IDs. I mean, everybody has them. So not everybody, but a lot of countries, even third world countries, some of them have those kind of laws. So it's time for our country, you know, supposedly the greatest country on earth, which I believe it is. You know, we need to have those laws as well. So that's what I'm mainly talking about. And if you take a look at it, you see a lot of liberals, you know, male and female, white people, male and female on the left. When they talk about voter ID laws, they're quick to say, oh no, how could we do that? That's so wrong. And how can we expect, you know, minorities in America to be able to, you know, have identification cards? Not everybody has IDs in the minority community. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? You know how easy it is to purchase a wallet or a purse and go to your local DMV and get an ID card. You don't have to get a driver's license. You can get just a regular identification card. It's who you are. And a lot of times, like in New York City, for example, it's free. So what is your excuse? Everybody should have an ID card that's an adult. I'm sorry, it's just basic. It's like drinking water. Come on now. You know, and that's just the issue I have with just the left. They're always trying to put their hand out like they're helping everybody. You know, that white guilt they have going on. And, oh, you know, oh, let us help you, and and to me that's another form of racism, is when you just in your mind you're better than another race, and you have to just put your hand out and always help other people And that's another reason why I came to conservatism, because conservatism has that pick yourself out the bootstraps kind of attitude, which I was fully capable of doing. My parents were, everybody, a lot of members of my family, you know, we could work and do what we had to do on our own. We didn't need nobody to give us a handout from the government or anything like that. So, you know, that's one of the issues I have with the left when it comes to the divide in this country. And even if you look at when Obama was president, you know, after the Trayvon Martin shooting, he did that speech and he said, oh, Trayvon could have been my son and all that. And I'm like, bro, why are you saying something like that? Like, yes, technically, oh yes, black man, black young man. Yeah, you can have, if you're a black man with a black woman, you have a black son or a black daughter. It's okay, but why you say that as a president at a speech in front of the American public like that? You know that's going to cause immediate divide. You're going to get black people angry. You're going to get, you know, there's everybody bumping heads against each other. So you're not, as a country's leader, what you're supposed to do is make a statement that is going to keep the balance between everybody in the American culture. Not just black people satisfied, not just, oh yeah, brother, tell them. No. You're supposed to say a message that everybody agrees on, so we have a peaceful outcome when it's all said and done. But he didn't do that. So, you know, you got to look at Obama. I remember he did he did another speech after a couple of those cops got killed in Texas. I believe it was the Black Lives Matter guy who shot up a few cops. And he came out and said, oh, you know, cops, you know, need to be doing a better job and all this. And I'm like, man, this guy is always coming out and saying something that divides. And that's not what a great leader does. A great leader comes out and makes a speech that brings the country together. And Obama did not do that. He just caused further division. So that's another issue I had with Obama. And if you look at the history of both parties, look at the Republican Party and you look at the Democrat Party, I mean, Democratic Party was the one that was funded on racism. They were the only people that owned slaves. Not one Republican owned a slave in the leadership or as a citizen. Not one Republican ever owned a slave. That was all the Democrat Party. The Democratic Party started the KKK. The Democratic Party is responsible for Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger and pretty much, you know, saying, she came out and said that she was doing Planned Parenthood to cause black genocide because, you know, why shoot them or hang them from trees when you just kill them at birth? And now Planned Parenthood is in more inner cities than anywhere across the country. So I guess her plan is working out. So the Democratic Party has a history of slavery. I mean, a history of racism, you know, segregation, you know, civil rights. I mean, everything. They're always causing conflict with moving the country forward when it came to race in the past. Now they want to act like they're the ones out for black people and minorities. Yeah, right. So you got to know your history about the Democrats to really know the truth. And, you know, and when I'm telling you, and another thing that happened, and I keep looking away for this camera for a minute because I got a cue card that I'm working off this time because sometimes I do these walk and talks, I forget to say certain things, so I want to make sure I cover everything. And another issue that I'm having with the whole race-related issue is pretty much, hold on one second, is when I was a Democrat, and I voted Democrat all the way up to this last election. 2012, I was thinking of swaying, but the media destroyed Herman Cain and Ron Paul's chances, so they didn't give me a chance to vote for him. So in 2016 was my first time actually voting Republican, and I noticed when I was a Democrat and I would run to Republican, older people or anybody, my peers that are Republicans, anybody who's Republican, and they would ask me who I voted for, who I supported, and I'll tell them a Democrat. They might laugh and joke and poke a little fun or say, ask a few questions and, a lot of different things. But, they never said, oh, you Uncle Tom, or, oh, you're stupid or you're dumb or what are you doing? What's wrong with you? None of that crazy stuff like that. It was all good. So when I first came out on Facebook as supporting Ben Carson, I noticed I was getting backlash from a lot of friends, family. A little bit, not too bad. But when I came out and supported Trump, it was very bad. And people were calling me Uncle Tom, stupid, dumb, you Sambo, you jigaboo, all that stupid stuff you hear all the time. And they were saying that because I supported him. That's why. And that was, to me, the only time in my life I really faced some real racism. And a lot of these people were saying this were white males, were mainly the main culprits of talking like this. So, a white man telling a black man he's not black enough, that's a little racist to me, isn't it? Don't you think? But that's what the Democrats do now. And they can get away with it because they say they're Democrats. And Democrats can almost get away with murder nowadays, unfortunately. But, so you want to talk racism, let's talk racism. The left is the one that has been racist to me for my political choices, never the right, even when I was against them. So what does that tell you? And even when if you look at when Trump became president, the first week in the White House, he invited Jim Brown, Kanye West, just a lot of black leaders to the White House, just sitting talking. Came to the inner city about Chicago, what was going on, see what they can do there. So he was trying from day one to say, hey, I'm inclusive for everybody, And if you look at Obama, when he was in office, he invited Black Lives Matter to the White House. Black Lives Matter, really? Like a homegrown terrorist group, pretty much, he invites to the White House. Once again, further division, Obama, compared to Trump. Inclusive Trump, divisive Obama. Big difference, And, now we got this walkaway movement that I'm a part of course, and that's bringing everybody together, a lot of conservatives. So again, the Conservative Party is just, they are inclusive. And so, I got nothing negative to say about, being a Trump supporter and being a conservative. And, I just want to say out there to everybody out there listening is give conservatism a chance. It's not this evil, racial, divisive system that everybody wants to tell you it is. It's not. And if you really want to put it on one party that's like that, it's going to be the left. That are ones that are like that, not the Republican Party. So you shouldn't be putting that label on anybody, in my opinion. Just go out and vote who you like to vote for. But if you got to put it on anybody, you got to put it on the Democratic Party. They have the history of it. They're currently still involved. I call it, my saying is, Dixiecrats are Democrats. So they are still the same party, just maybe with we replaced the Klan hoodies with suit and ties in Manhattan, but still the same concept. But that's all I have to say for today. It's Walk and Talk. Appreciate everybody's time. And of course, God bless everyone out there listening. And if you liking the content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'd be very appreciated. Everybody enjoy the day, and I'll be seeing you soon. God bless America.